Hello, my fabulous full friends, and welcome back. I don't know about you guys, but I am super struggling right now to find my fall vibes with the lack of autumn around me. We were so lucky to be able to sneak away to Ohio for a long weekend and experience the cooler weather and the amazing foliage, but now we are home in the Sunshine State, surrounded by palm trees, and it is a scorching 85 degrees still. Oh, and we're expecting another hurricane. Yay! So, to try and force some seasonal yumminess into my life, I am going to make the fall dress of my dreams. I saw this dress on an Insta post about a year ago and absolutely fell in love with it. And it has proceeded to live rent-free in my brain ever since. Now, if you are anything like me, you will never be happy with life until you have made said article of clothing. And so that's what I'm going to do today. Hopefully to find some fall happiness vibes in the meantime. Why should I make this instead of buy it, you ask? Well, in trying to figure out what the dress actually was so that I could recreate, I found this one on Etsy, which, while it is a great option if you have a budget to spend nearly $150 on one dress, I don't. I did, however, spend $60 on my linen and $3 on my zipper. And then I'm going to utilize some dyes that I already have lying around my house left over from other projects, but would probably total about $10 if I actually had to buy it outright. So, like half the price. Also, by making the dress myself, I can make a few changes so that it fits me like a glove, as well as make the adjustments for my body type. And lastly, because, well, it's being shipped from China, and the estimated delivery date would be mid-January, and I am way too impatient for that. So, I shall do it myself. A few weeks ago, I posted my full fabric haul video showing you this yummy white prepared for dyeing linen that I got from fabric.com, and I will link that down below for you. And I purchased 8 yards of it, and that's what I'm going to be using for my project today. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I've got everything placed out on a single layer. So right about there is my fold line, and I will use that to determine how long this needs to be. I did very generous spacing, so that way if there's any shrinkage in the laundry, it's okay. I'm actually probably even going to bump it out to like that seam right there. So after folding it in half, I actually only have 2 yards left. So I'm going to go ahead and dye the entire run. That guarantees that I have enough to make this dress. I know I won't have enough to make the marigold dress that I wanted to make, but that's tomorrow's problem. But I have plenty of other uses that I can use orange linen for. It's never going to go to waste in my house. All right, I have changed into something that I can get dye on it. I've got some water set up outside. Let's head out into the heat. Broom parking. I've got 2 buckets. This one I'm going to add some washing soda to, and this one is for my dye. That's a lot. that's about half. There she goes. Right, I am going to sit here and boringly agitate this for a while. Okay, I'm gonna let that soak for like an hour or two. I've already been agitating it for an hour or so. My hands are quite sore. My arms are sore. And despite having worn gloves, my fingers are orange. So I'm gonna go work on the mock-up for a bit while that soaks. Meanwhile, I look like I murdered a pumpkin. Just an FYI, if you or your daughter or someone in your house, namely your daughter, decides to color with Sharpie and then leaves the artwork in her white jeans pocket and it goes through the laundry with your whites will turn pink. Okay, so looking at this really quick, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern pieces for the bodice of this, so I'm not really worried at all. Pockets definitely are going in, but I will use the pockets to my normal skirt, circle skirt. Yeah, this should be super easy. So I pulled up some close-up pictures of the dress on Linen Native, and one of the things I don't love about it is the crisscross straps in the back. It's not a flattering look on me. I'm a little too chesty for that. I need a little bit more structural support. So I'm going to keep the more Dirndl look for the back. The other thing too is the front of it has a seam with hook and eyes. I like the idea of the seam. I don't like the hook and eyes. I won't use them. And since this actual dress does have a zipper up the back, I'm just going to proceed with doing a zipper and not... I'll put the seam because I really do like that corset look seam that's going up the front. But I don't want to do the hook and eyes. I feel like that's way too much of a stress point on my chest to have something that could fail. You know, you don't want one of those hooks to fail with this hot mess. So I will, yeah. Okay, first I'm going to trace it out onto tracing paper. I do not want to mess with my original. And then I'm going to cut it out of one of these pillow cases that is now Easter Bunny pink. I've got this entire thing now pinned together, and I'm going to go sew these seams. Okay, so this definitely needs to be longer. This hits me right at my natural waist, not dropped. I'm extremely long torsoed, and so that tends to be a lot of my problem. And I'm busty, so that also tends to be a problem. But, so I definitely need to add like 2 inches to the bottom of this in addition to dropping this collar. And I'm also going to take in the armscye. I think I may lower the back too a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I want this to hit me somewhere around here. And then come back up like that. Can you guys see that? All right. I don't think you can see that. Let me switch to a Sharpie. Whoa, that line's not straight. So I want something like, wow. Something like that. And then for my sleeve, all right. This should give this a little bit more of a Dirndl shape. Yeah, those lines are straight, baby. Okay, so I'm going to trace this onto a fresh tissue paper. When I cut it out, I came in 5/8 of an inch, so that way after it's sewn, my seam allowance will get tucked in here and it'll actually sit on me where I drew it. And then for the bottom of this down here, I'm gonna kick it out a little bit like so to accommodate my tuchus. Okay, mock-up number 2 is done. So it's a little loose right here. Like a lot loose right here. Like that's actually kind of funny how loose that is. So instead of trying to mess around with that and make it tighter, I think I'm actually just going to lower that scoop. Like, I'm never going to wear this by itself. It's always going to probably be over something. Oh. Oh. It's such a whine. So I feel like if I drop that a couple of inches, that will help. But otherwise, I'm really happy with the way that it fits. I'm not getting any super tightness right here, which was what I was worried about. That little bit of a flare that I gave it is perfect. All right, let's go downstairs and see how the fabric is in the dryer. Okay, I am really happy with how this came out. So I'm going to proceed with cutting everything out. All right, that is my placement. Pretty simple. I cut my lining out of the same linen so that it's self-lined. I feel like this weight is a good weight, and it'll be nice for like structure. And then I've got my skirt cut out over there. Okay, so I am going to slam through assembling this. It's literally just the 4 seams. Oh my god, I have Cheeto fingers. Oh, how do I always end up with orange fingers at Halloween time? I'm just gonna slam through these 4 seams. I may do the skirt, I may not. But I'm just gonna at least get it started. I've got my lining layer assembled. I did tack down my seams so that I could use them as a boning channel if I decided to add boning. I haven't decided yet. But it is 6 o'clock, so I am calling it. But I've been at this since 9, and I am going to stop before I start making mistakes. I should say before I make more mistakes, because I just realized that I wasn't supposed to sew the side seams together yet until after I attached, because that's where I pull them right side out. So I'm going to take this seam out, and then I'm going to take this seam out. At least I didn't put boning channels in the side seams. This is why I'm calling it a night. Alright, it's a pretty gray and dreary day today. Maybe that'll put me in the fall mood. Yeah, I want to say I don't have all that much to do, but I don't know. I still even have to go find a zipper, because I don't even have a zipper. All right, I'm gonna hit the ground running. Assemble, assemble, assemble. And meanwhile, my fingers are still orange, despite the fact that I wore those gloves. I swear, if those gloves would be sewing. Okay, I've got my second layer assembled to the point where I can put my lining and my outer layer together. So this pattern wasn't supposed to be lined, it just had facings. And so I have to assemble it different than the instructions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them right sides together. And I'm going to sew the neck hole and the arm size. All right, to right side out this bad boy, I am going to pull everything through one of these straps. Now, what we need to do is sew the side seams together, open it up, and sew both together, lining and outer layer, all in one run. So that's my arm side right here. Whoop. Match these seams up, match these notches up, match these notches up, and so that's pretty straightforward down the side seams. It definitely needs a pressing, and it definitely needs a depuppying with the lint roller. But otherwise, it's getting there. I am at the point where I can put the skirt together. Okay, Attached bodice to skirt time. Okay, so all of my footage on how I dyed the zipper is missing. It's fine. I used my very own tutorial on how to dye a nylon zipper. I used the recipe for the color pumpkin, and it requires daffodil yellow, apricot orange, and super pink. The entire time that the zipper is in the water, it is kept on the stove at a low simmer for the entire duration of the process time. I did approximately 20 minutes. Okay, good morning. It is day 3. I had to put the project aside for a little bit and process in my brain. After playing with the skirt, I decided it didn't have quite enough swoosh. And since I have 3 more yards, I am kind of thinking I want to add another panel to the skirt. I don't want to have to rip the pockets out and move them. So I've been trying to wrap my brain around how I'm going to do this. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the skirt up the front, add half of the panel in the center, and then the other half of the panel to the back of the skirt. Since I gotta cut it open to put the zipper in anyway. I might be making a huge mistake, but that's what I want to do. All right. All right, now that's what I call swoosh. Essentially now this is a double circle skirt, so I will have some gathering in the waistline. I accept this. But it's not going to be as much gathering if I have just done rectangles. So it's still more swoosh for the gather. Okay. I'm going to attach the top and the bottom. Not a swoosh. I just need to add my custom dyed zipper and hem, and I will see you in the reveal. is actually chilly out. For us, chilly for us. So I am definitely now starting to feel the fall vibes. This dress does everything that I wanted to push me into that fall autumny mood that I have been lacking. I'm really, really glad that I took the time to do a mock-up of the bodice because I love the way it fits. It's comfortable. I have enough wiggle room to have my little slip dress on. I will say I need to find a better blouse to go under it though. This one is it's like it's giving me too much extra bra. So I have to find a different blouse to go under it, but that's a completely different problem. That's tomorrow's problem. And I am super, super glad that I ended up doing the double circle skirt because the swoosh factor in this puppy is for real. And I'm so happy. Okay, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming back and sticking around with me. And I will see you guys next time for more fun fabric and shenanigans. I love you all.